Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers. There is a lot of hate directed at NASA, and they're often called liars, especially by flat earthers. And that unfortunately gives the whole flat earth scene a bit of a bad rap because it has this cultish kind of vibe when everyone's just hating on NASA. Now, this is understandable when one studies and scrutinizes the evidence that we are given that men have been to the moon or that we are going to Mars. But to me, I see that as just the public relations campaign that is behind the real business and the real money-making operation of NASA, which does have a lot of benefits, but it is really mainly geared to this capitalist commercial drive that ultimately drives entire national economies. Now, of course, part of this journey one might have of going down the rabbit hole and waking up to certain truths or realities is that governments are commercial entities. We as general members of the public become human resources, and we are consumers at the end of the day. But we also play a role in perpetuating the commerce and growing the businesses that come originally from the research and development done by the people at NASA to bring all sorts of technologies into the commercial domain. And so I want to go through what they're doing at the core of their missions and how that then makes a lot of money by being put into the private and public sector. So, I mean, it kind of alludes to it on this page of our missions and values. The vision here is we reach for new heights and reveal the unknown for the benefit of humankind. The mission is to drive advances in science, technology, aeronautics, and space exploration to enhance knowledge, education, innovation, economic vitality, and stewardship of Earth. Economic vitality is quite a significant one. We've got this development of technology which is injected into the economics of any given country or location that it's then used in. It says down here that there's more than 18,000 professionals. They come from many diverse backgrounds but are united by a common purpose to pioneer the future in space exploration, scientific discovery, and aeronautics research. In addition to our core values, our NASA team embodies a few shared characteristics that are integral to our success. Curiosity, team-oriented, excellence, passion for exploration, agility, resilience, and so on. So what they do here is offer a lot of inspiration. If we go back to, for example, the Apollo missions, essentially what came out of that was the downsizing of a lot of technology. At the start of those missions, you had computers that took up entire rooms, and the mission really was to put massive cabinet-sized computers into smaller boxes that would eventually fit into the capsule on top of the rocket. To me, that was the real mission. And there's no doubt that bringing all these brilliant minds together for a common purpose or a common goal has benefited us. And we'll see some of those technologies that we now use that have come out of NASA. But this is where the real money making is embedded. in these patents and the technology that's developed. Of course, NASA gets its funding publicly from the taxpayer, and it's bringing all these professional people together to develop these technologies. And once those technologies are developed, then you have a product that can then go onto the market. So we'll have a look at how that's done. So really, that's, to me, that's about as nefarious as NASA gets. Really, it creates commerce, but of course that ends up being usually for a select few individuals, and we end up just being consumers of those products and generating endless returns for the people that develop the technology. So you have very passionate, very knowledgeable, very skilled people all coming together for what is perceived to be this ultimate goal of exploring space. But in the meantime, all these different technologies are developed. A recent one that you'll see press releases for all over the place is this one from the Mars mission. A Portlander here with NASA ties develops a new space-age bicycle tire. And this is just one of the latest examples. Portland-based engineer Calvin Young has combined his love of space exploration and cycling to create a new bicycle tire that is airless, as strong as titanium, and will never go flat. So this comes from the technology that was developed for the wheels on the latest rover that's said to be on Mars. So again, I've said before, it doesn't really matter whether there is something going to Mars and whether it's actually doing anything on Mars. What matters is that you had a bunch of smart people coming together with a passion to develop something new. And of course, okay, let's imagine that this rover is going to go onto this rocky terrain in a harsh environment. So this would inspire people to come up with these new technologies. And this one technology is due to come out in around 2022, I think. And according to the company, the bike tires will be their first foray into the $250 billion global tire market. It's just one example of how technology developed by people at NASA being paid for by the public then end up creating something that becomes a hugely lucrative commercial product. So let's have a look at some of these examples. This is back from 2016, where NASA makes dozens of patents available in public domain to benefit US industry. NASA has released 56 formally patented agency technologies into the public domain, making its government-developed technologies freely available for unrestricted commercial use. In addition to the release of these technologies, a searchable database now is available that catalogues thousands of expired NASA patents already in the public domain. So here they're giving away expired NASA patents. It's no skin off their nose to give away 50 out of the thousands and thousands of patents that they have developed and own. They have the proprietary rights for as an agency, and this is where they make their money. So what we see here is just more PR to say how great they are and you can benefit from it, but really you're going to be just tapping into a very small sliver of the technology they've developed and has already kind of been snapped up by those with close ties to NASA, such as the guy who was working for NASA and developed a tire for bicycles. Here we can have a look at 20 things we wouldn't have without space travel. Camera phones. In the 1990s, a team at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory worked to create cameras small enough to fit on a spacecraft and with scientific quality. 1/3 of all cameras contain this technology. Just think about the billions of people that are now using these camera phones, and attached to that is a patent. And so, yes, various companies, whether it's Apple or Samsung or whatever, can buy the license for these technologies and then develop them themselves, put them into their products, and they will also, as well as having a license, will be paying royalties back to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and NASA. And these we continue with all these different examples. This is just a snippet, but they're prominent ones that we will all be familiar with. Scratch-resistant lenses, CAT scans. Space program needs a pretty good digital image. The JPL played a lead role in developing this technology, which in turn helped create CAT scanners and radiography. Of course, widely used in the medical industry, and this is a huge, as I said, industry. It's not something that's given for free to the general public. It's very costly to get this kind of thing done. Whether it's through insurance and you get free medical treatment, or whether it's somewhere where you have to go to an international private hospital to get this kind of special treatment. So this is a gravy train. LEDs used all over the place. I mean, they're used in roads, cat's eyes, and we just you can think of a gazillion things that LEDs are used in for. Red LEDs are being used in space to grow plants and heal humans on Earth. LED technology used by NASA has contributed to the development of medical devices such as Warp 10. Not too sure what that is, but landmine removal. This could be seen as a good thing. It says that surplus rocket fuel to produce a flare that can safely destroy landmines. It works by burning a hole through the mine without detonation. I wonder if the landmines were developed from some kind of NASA technology in the first place. We're just kind of okay, great, something has been developed to solve a problem, but it's a problem that we created with our own technology. Athletic shoes and Nike Air trainers wouldn't exist if it weren't for suit construction technology developed by NASA. It was a former NASA engineer that first pitched the idea. So here we have something that we all know is been widely used and is very expensive, very popular, and some people along the line have made huge amounts of money here. In fact, I remember going to a lovely teak wood house in the country, acres of land, very exquisite place here in Thailand, where the owner simply made shoelaces for Nike. They had a factory that made shoelaces for Nike, and this person was hugely wealthy because of that. So sure, people benefit. There are commercial interests all the way down the line. So in this sense, you can see it as a good thing. But ultimately, what we have is this proprietary ownership rather than just giving things away. It still just makes money infinitely. We'll have a look at some of those figures in a second. Foil blankets, water purification systems. In the 1960s, NASA created an electrolytic silver iodizer to purify astronauts' drinking water. This technology is now widely used to kill bacteria in recreational pools. Great, okay, so it's got commercial purposes, but imagine what benefits this could have on the Earth for impoverished places where they don't have clean water. You could eradicate all sorts of diseases. You wouldn't need to be developing vaccines for waterborne diseases when you have this technology that can clean up water. And this has been around since the 60s. So why isn't this just being kind of used in more benevolent ways and put out there for people to use freely? It always comes down to commerce and making money rather than really helping people that really need the help. So yes, in this sense, you can see that the nefarious side of this whole thing. Dustbusters, we've all seen them. They were developed in conjunction with Black & Decker, and they've been around since 1979. A lot of people had those in their houses, but maybe rarely used them. Ear thermometers, home insulation. The jaws of life. Okay, great. An extraction tool to free people from mangled vehicles. The jaws of life applies a miniature version of the explosive charge used to separate devices on the space shuttle. So again, whether the space shuttle actually goes there and flies around in orbit, it doesn't matter. We have all these bespoke parts and products created for the overall mission of sending an aircraft up to the higher echelons of the atmosphere, and from that we have these technologies that come about. Wireless headsets, memory foam, freeze-dried food, we all know that one, adjustable smoke detector, baby formula, and just look at how that has been prolifically put upon the entire world, and how people are encouraged to give up feeding on the breast and go for this formula. All NASA-sponsored research that explored the use of algae for long-duration space travel. So, okay, they're using algae in baby formula. Artificial limbs. Okay, great. It's all good stuff. It helps people walk again, or gives them arms, and if they've lost them. Computer mouse. In the 1960s, it was developed by a researcher trying to make computers more interactive, when an idea was suggested about how best to manipulate data on a computer screen, leading to the mouse and the portable computer. So, you can see this is just a few of the spin-offs, but so let's have a look at how the whole money thing works. So here's NASA's patent portfolio. And it says here that NASA maintains a portfolio of patents with commercial potential and makes them available to the public through our patent licensing program. So whether you're looking to start a new company using NASA technology, enhance an existing product, or create a new product line, you can gain a competitive edge in the marketplace by putting NASA technology to work for you. And you can go through this yourself, but you've got pretty much every single industry that exists: aerospace, communications, electronics, environment, health, medicine, and biotechnology. So there are all these ties to the pharmaceutical industry. These are the people with the money and the power that will buy up these licenses or make broker deals with NASA or the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and will mutually make money ad infinitum. And let's just have a look at how that is done. It says here's a little page on how to license NASA technology. So first you go to the database we looked at just now, go and find something that you want to develop yourself or use yourself. Then you would apply for a license application, and then you would set the terms with NASA, sign an agreement, and away you go, you've got your license. So let's just have a look at that in a little bit more detail. Step 2, apply for a technology license. Once you've found a technology, applying for a technology license is simple and straightforward. With a click of a button, you can begin the online application process using NASA's automated technology license application system, ATLAS. They must spend hours coming up with these acronyms. That must be a job in itself. The system will guide you through every step of licensing, and you've got the choice of standard commercial license, evaluation license, and startup license. And then step 3 is to set the terms for the agreement. So after submitting your license application, the terms of the agreement are worked out by you and the NASA license manager. Every deal is different. Companies can apply for rights to a single technology or a group of technologies. You may want exclusive rights worldwide or in a field of use or geographic region that is important to you. Costs will vary in consideration of the types of license that is granted. The curve below shows how license fees change with the value of the rights granted. I'll just have a look at the second one in a minute, but just see what you've got. You've got, first of all, an upfront fee, a lump sum payable on the signing of the patent license agreement for non-exclusive licenses. So this non-exclusive is a fantastic thing for anyone that's developed some kind of patent. obviously they can just resell it to all kinds of people. So of course, if you buy the license, it doesn't guarantee that you're the only one that has it. 1,000 other people could be buying the same license over and over again. So that just kind of increases the money making opportunities there. These upfront fees usually range from 5,000 to 10,000, though we offer special licensing terms with no upfront fees for startup companies. Exclusive license fees are higher, and since each one is unique, it is difficult to provide an accurate range. It is through the upfront fees that NASA seeks to recover some of its investment in the patent filing and maintenance costs. Right, I'm sure they're huge. And then you've got, on top of that, yearly minimum royalties. Based on the business plan, these fees are designed to ensure that licenses are actively engaged in working toward commercial applications. And then a running royalty percentage based on revenue. These fees are negotiated, but generally range anywhere from 3 to 7%. They can also be negotiated down by a higher upfront fee. Within the range, fees may vary by the readiness or maturity of the technology, the industry application of the technology, and the exclusivity desired by your organization. And we can see here the range of royalty rates for license agreements. It goes from 1% for very kind of common things, and then up to we've got the medium kind of bracket between 3 and 7%, which is a huge percentage, really, when you think about it. If a product is making millions or billions, between 3 and 7% on that is a lot of money. And then we've got in the high examples of about 16% royalty fees. What's especially interesting to me is dynamic modeling software, and this is a high margin. Why is it a high margin? Because, well, you develop software and you don't need a factory, you don't need anything else, you don't need to make any more products. You just have the one product which you can sell over and over and over and over again, and it's just a digital product. And we've seen this in over the past few years, this entire industry of modeling. And this is, of course, what we are facing now, is the very real impact on our lives of entrepreneurs that have colluded or collaborated with government to sell their models and create models of pandemics, for example. Look at how lucrative that has been and how much it has impacted our lives. Everything just based on modeling software. So these guys are making huge profits from the royalty rates for those particular licenses ad infinitum. It's just going on and on and on. And so again, it comes back to that point of understanding, or the realization that the government is really just a commercial entity, and a government or a prime minister or a president creates jobs. They do their signings with NASA and all these other agencies, and they create commerce. And that does go back to the original mission statement of NASA here, is to develop commerce, especially for the US, but of course these technologies end up being used worldwide. And this is what they're doing. This is what they're really doing. Their real mission is to have people develop technologies. These people are paid for by the taxpayer. They develop all sorts of technologies under the impression that it's being done for a rover mission to Mars. It doesn't matter if the rover goes there or not. What matters is that the wheels were developed, or a drill was developed, or a robotic arm was developed, or a method of analyzing soil samples, or some biotechnology applications were developed. These all become proprietary licenses and patents, which are then sold on over and over and over again. And yes, it gives us something to do. It, the whole space thing, the exploration thing, inspires these people it gives them the drive. They come together and they create something. So in that respect, it is at least better than creating weapons for war. You probably heard the expression, war is the mother of invention. But what we have here is this, we're going to the moon, we're going to Mars. This is the inspiration. It's at least a peaceful mission, but ultimately it is just business. And so it's not only the money that they're making from the public funding, it's the money that they make all the way down the chain from the licensing, and these are all developed by very passionate people. It's just that you have to be a business person, you have to be an entrepreneur, you have to have a bit of business savvy there in order to get a foot in the door and then profit from it. And so this is the essence, the root of this, the capitalist pioneering spirit of America. Of course, UK has got its own industries, space industry. So has France, and all these other technologies come onto the market because of it. Yeah. So, as I said, I don't hate NASA for what it does. I understand, I think, what it's doing, and it's just that the PR is the inspiration that attracts people and encourages people, gives people something to do, because if we don't have something to do, if we don't have a mission, then we can become lazy. And it's just that's a big difference between the West and the East, where in a warmer climate such as here, there was no need, there was no desire to progress or develop anything. There are certain members of royalty in the past that have either just sat on their laurels or they've developed something. For example, King Rama V developed the Thai alphabet and brought in the whole kind of education system after seeing that same system in the UK and in other places in Europe. So certain things have been developed here, and there is progress and development. But as a rule, I would say that the West, in those kind of northern, colder regions, has had much more drive to develop than you would do here in tropical climate, because you can just step out your door and go and get your food. It's there. There is no need to be going beyond that. But in a colder climate with seasonal changes, you've got to prepare for the winter, and so there's more of a drive to develop shelter, food, storage, medicine, and this is, in that sense, we have evolved from what I have no idea, but this has all been. This is why we're here where we are now. The fact that I can do this stream is probably down to some NASA technology. So in many ways, we've got to be thankful for that. And people, as entrepreneurs, have done what they can to bring it into the market. They've made their money, and the technology has become cheaper and more common. So it's not just Velcro. It's pretty much almost everything that we use in our lives has probably got its roots in one of these missions or programs with a higher aim of getting to the stars. But it doesn't matter if they're not going there. It just doesn't matter. That's just PR. It's like Elon Musk putting a Tesla car in space. It's just a PR stunt. And of course, the Tesla shares skyrocketed, and he did well out of it. the car doesn't have to be there. It's just PR. It's just advertising. So we can take all that with a pinch of salt. We don't need to hate on them. We can just understand and accept that this is what they do. This is the commercial model of NASA. And like anything, whatever technology is developed, it can be used in a benevolent way to benefit people, or it can be used in a harmful way. Weapons can be developed out of it, or whatever. Where the military gets hold of something and uses it as a weapon. A car is a great thing, but it can also kill people. This is just the way it is. It depends on intent. So we have a lot of people with good intent, and they are creating, they are developing, they are making progress in all sorts of ways. But it doesn't mean that we're going to eventually get off this rock. That's not really the ultimate goal. It's just business. Just business. Thank you very much.
Click subscribe and the bell icon if you'd like to receive notifications of new videos from Phuket Word.